outside the grid. It's all for sure.
Welcome to the Eric and Brad Show, episode 62. That's Eric. That's Brad. That's not Eric over there. Silly. Today I'm coming off COVID, still feeling a little weird, but we're at you for the 62nd time. Brad's broadcasting live from Tokyo, where he'll be competing in women's weightlifting. I believe he's going to take last place, but we'll see. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. You had COVID?
I did have COVID. I got the Rona.
How do you know?
I got it tested. Got that tested.
Really?
Yeah. I even got the Delta whatever variant. Got that real shit. She.
How did it feel?
It felt pretty lame. Felt like the flu. I was, felt very flu-like. Fucking had a fever for like 3 days, and yeah, it was pretty shitty. I mean, I couldn't get out of bed. The shitty part seems to be post being sick. That's like the real lame thing. And talking to other people, I guess that's like a thing. Is like you get done being sick, but you're not really done being sick for a long time. Because it's been like a week.
What do you mean?
I'm like not sick anymore. Like I'm good, but I'm like weak as fuck. Like I feel like 10% sick. And it's just been 10% for like a week. And some people say it lasts for like 2 months. You'll just be like weak. Like I'm supposed to go to work next week, I think. I don't know if they have a job for me anymore. Waiting on a job to kick off, so I'm not sure if I'll actually have a home. I might have to go to Seattle for a little bit.
Oh fuck.
I know.
That's what you get for fucking not going to work for 4 weeks.
I know, a whole month off. It sucks though, being the middle of summer. I wish I wasn't sick. I don't know. Yeah. It's hot as shit. And I really haven't. I've been outside in the last 2 weeks. I've been outside for maybe an hour and a half. Like all together. Like I've been indoors in the AC. I go outside and like, oh shit, yeah, it's summer out here. It's hot as shit outside.
Yeah. Oh, it's been like 90s and 100s here for feels like a month at least.
Yeah. We haven't had rain in fucking forever.
Yeah. Is it smoky there?
No, it's not. I think all the smoke is just heading that way.
Huh.
Not smoky at all.
Because it's smoky here. It's smoky here, I believe, but it's all coming from the west,
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went and got tested, and they said, yeah, you have the Delta variant.
Well, okay, I got tested, and the guy talked me into it. He's like, well, if you really think you have COVID, he's like, you should get the, whatever, not the rapid test, the other test, where they actually, send it in and blah, blah, and takes time. And I got that back, and it didn't really say anything. It didn't say shit. It was just like, you got COVID. Like, that was essentially all it said. And I'm like, well, that was not very informative. But everyone in my family got COVID. We all got it when we went to Idaho, and we all got COVID. Like, everyone in my family got COVID. My mom...
The people in Idaho got it?
Yeah, my mom got it. My stepdad got it. My brother got it. Fucking all his kids got it. My whole family got it. Everyone got it. And somehow my mom had found out that she had the Delta variant. She got tested and she found out. I don't know what test she did. So I'm assuming it has to, it has to.
Right.
It has to be the same because we all got sick at the same time. And what's weird is half of the...
Oh my God.
So Cheyenne, she lost her sense of taste and smell. And I never lost it. That's been a weird one. Like she can't fucking taste anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only one that was weird was my mom has COPD, so she has like problems breathing. So that was a little weird, but she said she's fine. Everyone is fine. That actually the one that scared me is the baby got it. And then so the baby's, just under 2 months old. And fucking that was a little nerve-wracking. I was honestly what I was scared of happening was I was scared the baby was going to choke in its sleep. Like that was what made me nervous because you're not supposed to put a baby face down. You know what I mean? And you're not supposed to put them on their side because then they can fall on their face. You're supposed to keep them on their back. But when he had COVID, he was fucking like hacking shit up. Like he was being very fucking fluidy. And I was like, yeah. And then so I have the fever and I don't know if, I mean, I get fucking weird when I have the fever. You know what I mean? I like freak out about shit. Just get real weird. Like
Yeah.
2 a.m, I'll just have something in my mind and be like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? You all fevery and shit.
Yeah.
And that's all I could think about was the little baby. I'd wake up at 2 and I'd be like, like twice I got up and I was like standing over his crib and I'm like, do I check to see if he's alive? But if I move him, he's going to start crying. And then everyone's pissed because the baby's crying now. So then I'm making this like all fevery and weird, like making this decision like, do I make sure he's alive or do I fucking have a crying baby on our hands? But that was the only one that was scary. But he's fine. Everyone's fine. We're all good. We're just quarantining now. Been quarantining.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thanks, Idaho.
What? For giving me COVID?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it was my brother from California that gave everyone COVID. But
Oh, you know that.
we're pretty sure because he drove up and then when we were all there, one of his kids got sick. And like right when they showed up, his kid was like, a little 2-year-old was like, and they're like, yeah, that kid's not normal. Like we wasn't puking or doing anything, but he was like just sitting there and they're like, yeah, that's not normal because that kid's a fucking hellion. Like, you know, is just running nonstop and tearing shit apart. And they're like, something's wrong with him or her. And then they took her into the hospital. And then, yeah, and they're like, oh, little one's got COVID. And we're all on a boat. And so we're like, well, shit. Like, what do we do? And like, well, fuck it. We're all on the boat. So fucking see what happens. And then, yeah, a week later, we all got COVID.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous. I don't know what you mean when you're saying you can't get out of bed for 3 days. Because I've been sick before. Like, I've been really sick before. I can still get out of bed.
Well, I mean, I could technically get out of the bed, but I get up and then I get right back into bed. I have a fever. You don't go walking around when you have a fucking fever. So have you ever had a fever for 3 days? Because if you have a fever for 3 days, you don't... I'm not getting out of bed. I'm fucking sweating my ass off and miserable as fuck.
Yeah.
And trying to sleep
It's
as much as absolutely possible. Well, lucky you. I get sick. I don't know. I feel like when I was in high school and out of high school, I fucking every year I got deathly sick. Like right at the beginning of the summer, I swear it was just every fucking year would get super sick. And then I feel like it's kind of died out, but I feel like about every 2 years now, I'll get a good fucking sickness where I'll get a fever and fucking sit in bed.
ugh. It's terrible. Oh my God.
Yeah. I haven't smoked a cigarette in 2 weeks, so or drank a
Nice.
beer. That's what I mean. I'm like not 100%. I don't know if I mean I really don't want to go back to fucking work. He froze on me. Oh man. Don't do this to me, Brad. Oh, there you are.
Hello.
You're back. You're back.
Jesus Christ.
9 minutes, 18 seconds. And we're back. Brad just cut out on me. I don't know what happened. He just froze.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all good. Everything's gravy.
It said my internet connection's unstable.
Uh-oh. You sure you plugged it in?
It's plugged in.
Okay, calm down.
Son of a fucking bitch.
Oh, it's all gravy. Yeah, where were we? I don't know. COVID talk.
You haven't drank
I haven't drank or smoked cigarettes. Yeah. Oh, when we were up in Idaho, the girl fucking, she's like, give me a cigarette. And I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, don't smoke. I was like, you haven't smoked in fucking 10 months, you know, with the baby and everything like that. I'm like, why would you smoke? And she's like,
Just drinking.
she's like, fucking, we're on vacation, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you're going to just start smoking now. And she's like, no, I won't. Just while we're up here. I'm like, if you have one fucking cigarette, you're going to go back to smoking. That's how this works. And she's like, no. And I was like, I bet you $1,000 fucking dollars. So we bet $1,000. Sure as shit. Fucking 2 packs later, fucking still fucking smoking cigarettes. I'm like, she's so weird too because
That's your fault.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
It is your fault.
It's not my fault.
Couples need to quit together or it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know?
She quit with the baby, so she has the fucking. She has it in her to not
but
smoke
you're
cigarettes.
still over there. Yeah, but you're still over there chain smoking on a fucking houseboat, drinking. It's real tempting. Just give me one.
Yeah. She still owes me $1,000.
Yeah. I can't believe you guys got fucking COVID.
I know. Isn't that crazy? And we got it too late because now there's no perks. We're fucking.
No.
I should have got it when it was like a hipster to get COVID, when it was cool to get COVID. It's not fucking cool to get COVID anymore. Now I'm fucking late to the party. Government ain't giving out any fucking money. Fucking. Actually, they are. I'm pretty stoked about this. This is an Oregon thing. It's not a government thing. I feel kind of bad for manipulating this, but whatever. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. But so they give it to us. I never got a phone call, but Cheyenne got a phone call because of the kids. And then it was like our county, Washington County. They hit us up and are just like, "Oh, you got COVID?" And they're just like, "Well, send us a like picture of the COVID results or whatever, and then you can send us any of your bills you want us to pay for a month." And they're just like, we're like, "Okay." So fucking they're paying my fucking mortgage. I was like, okay.
Oh my god.
So I guess I can't bitch that much. But work's not doing anything for me. Fucking like a few months ago, they just stopped it like 2 months ago. They used to pay your fucking wage while you were gone. And now they're not. But you still have to fucking quarantine. It's like, well, fuck you guys, you goddamn pieces of shit.
Get money.
Yeah. I should have been licking doorknobs like fucking a year ago. It would have been fucking fine.
So, how long has it been since you've been at work? 4 weeks?
Yeah, this will be week 4.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know.
This is the problem with this country. The kids these days.
I know.
Just fucking sitting at home, living off the government.
I haven't not worked a month off. I haven't not worked in a month, and it's like I feel it now. I don't ever want to go to work again. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. Like it's set in. I know what it's like now.
I think you'd be fucking dying to go back and have a purpose again.
I'm dying to go back because I'm sick of feeling. It's in the morning time, in the afternoon. I love sleeping in, and everything's all great. But then the nighttime hits, and I'm like, "You're a piece of shit. You didn't do anything all day long." And it's like, well, I can't do anything. Yeah. And I am ready to go back to work because I want to get back in moving and doing fucking stuff. Because yesterday I woke up at fucking noon. Woke up at noon. Fucking, oh, you know how shitty that is?
Yeah, it sounds terrible. Fuck.
Played video games. For the last 4 or 5 days, I've done nothing but play video games all day long. Just fucking, I know, I've really sunk into being a piece of shit. Fucking sunk right in there.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of crazy because yesterday I went and got a shot.
I heard that. I heard through the grapevine.
Jesus
We're talking
Christ.
about you. Yeah, someone posted on Facebook. They're like, Brad went and got his shot.
No, they
fucking
didn't.
sellout.
Yeah, it's fucked up. And you know what is fucked up is the fact that my arm still hurts.
Oh.
I don't know why it has to be so painful. I don't think when babies get whatever vaccines they get that it's like painful.
My baby had a
just
bruise on
ridiculous.
its arm, so I think it's probably a little painful.
Oh, okay, good. So they're all painful.
Yeah, good. As
I don't
long
know why
as the
they have
babies
to
are
be.
going through pain, everything's good.
Yeah, because I'm going through pain too. I couldn't even put. It was.
Did you feel? Are you feeling sick at all, or you feeling good?
No.
Feel just fantastic.
Yeah, I feel fine.
Yeah.
I actually felt really energetic afterwards, but my fucking arm is killing me, and it's so annoying. So fucking stupid.
How do you feel about all the? I mean, I don't follow the news much, but I'm sure you're following this. How do you feel about the whole NFL thing? Do you think, with them saying all that shit about the unvaccinated players and all that crap?
Well, I know the Vikings offensive line coach got fired
Yeah.
for refusing to take the vaccine, and that was the first coach or assistant coach or whatever to go. but there'll probably be more.
Yeah, but they're also saying if the rules are this year is if a team fucking can't play because of COVID, something with if how is it? What is it? Something about like if you have a certain percentage of unvaccinated players and your team fucking can't play the game or whatever, you automatically forfeit the fucking game. They won't reschedule you if you're under a certain threshold or over a certain threshold of unvaccinated players. You haven't heard that?
No.
Oh.
I think they'll be fine though. I don't really care.
Yeah. Okay.
They managed to do it They managed to figure it out last year without any games being canceled, but a few games did.
Well,
get
yeah, but
rescheduled.
now it's not like they've isolated the teams and there's no fans in the fucking stands. Like now they're like opening up normal, so
yeah,
it very well could be a thing.
Yeah.
This I mean, what this is like the topic of the fucking the hour right now is fucking. Like, I don't know. I just... this whole vaccination thing is pretty fucking weird. Like, it really does. In the last 6 months, it's gone from, like, just forced vaccinations. Like, now it's like... Yeah, we're, like, right on this teetering point of, like, forced vaccinations. And they're not forcing it yet, but essentially, as a society, we've, like... Yeah, we're ostracizing people if they're not fucking doing it. I find it very weird. I find it very odd.
It is very weird.
Very fucking weird. And I hate to be like, I'm fucking hate to have that side of the fucking argument, but am I the only one that thinks it's fucking weird that we, like, I get like emergency fucking pushing through the vaccine or whatever past like testing, but it's like, why does no one care about that? Like, I just find that so odd. Like, for like anything else, it takes like 10 years to get shit fucking passed. And we did something in fucking 6 months. And even saying like, well, is this like, say you're like, oh, you're fucking anti-science. It's like, is this just not odd that now this one vaccine is just everyone's fine with not doing any fucking testing on it? I don't know. It's just fucking weird. When you grow a third arm, you can fucking report back.
Yeah, or tail. It seemed to me like as long as I waited, and I wasn't planning on doing it, something changed in the last couple of weeks that sort of pushed me over the edge. But it seems to me at this point that there is no immediate consequences.
Yeah.
Long term, I don't. Who knows? I really still don't even trust it. But I'm not afraid to die, and if that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. You could say the same about catching. You could say the same on both sides. Catching
so did
COVID,
you have to?
You're not afraid.
Did you have to sign a release thing?
Yeah, but it was just a release. It was just the standard release for the doctor's office.
It wasn't. There's no signing like fucking if something happens with it. I thought that was the deal. I thought someone told me that you have to sign a fucking like a release.
I signed something, but they kept it. And I feel like if it was an actual release, you'd get a copy.
Yeah, I know. You don't even know what you're signing.
I've signed things in strip clubs before. And I didn't get a copy of that.
You're just willy-nilly signing shit. I won't sue you. I won't sue you. I won't sue you.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? Have you ever signed something in a strip club before?
I don't know what you're talking about. Why would you sign something in a strip club?
I did it twice. They presented me with this thing, and they said, you have to sign this.
Like, you can't sue us if you get chlamydia or something like that?
Or you promise not to, like, do anything weird.
Oh, okay.
So I was like,
that is super fucking weird.
That's strange.
I've signed releases at other places, like go-karting, you have to sign a release there, like paintballing, stuff like that.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
But I looked up after I got the shot. I was looking up how mRNA vaccines work, and it's kind of cool how they actually work. And that's actual science and stuff like that. When it all comes down to it, you don't really even know what you're getting or what the long-term shit is. But it's kind of interesting how they work, Do
you want to teach us, or you just...
It's just... I mean, in layman's terms, it's like the COVID cells have like spikes on the side of them, and they attach to your cells, and they infect you until, they run its course, and this mRNA vaccine stays in your system, and when it senses COVID cells, then it goes and attaches itself to those spikes, so then the COVID cells just bounce off your stuff and can't infect you.
Huh.
That's what they do. That's kind of interesting science, but it's at the end of the day, someone's putting a needle in your arm, you don't know. It's like you don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so I booked we've booked the Tampa trip.
Oh yeah.
In October, and even with that and stuff, I was like, it's all good, whatever. But then, like 2 weeks ago or something, my fucking dog is whining. Like 2 weeks ago, my aunt calls me and says she wants me and my brother to go to my grandpa's 90th birthday party in California.
Dude, that sounds like a banger.
And yeah, and
you show up with Molly.
A lot of that a lot of that family I have never met, really. There's like new members and stuff, but it's like, I'm like, okay, well, I can't really say no to that. That's kind of a thing, and I hate when people put you in a spot where you feel like you can't say no, but I'm like, I can't really say no. I'm kind of have to do it, because it'll be the last time I'm visiting there, pretty much. This will be it. Yeah. And if my brother's going, then it'd be really bad if I didn't go. So I'm like, okay, and they're gonna pay for the trip, so I'm like, okay, I'll go, And then I was kind of thinking about the whole thing. I'm like, maybe I should just get it, because of the Tampa and the grandpa's. Yeah, 90th.
It makes sense. I'm pretty close to just getting it so that I don't have to ever listen to anyone fucking.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. It's like a fucking. Because, yeah, in the end, I mean, I don't really give a fuck. What I do give a fuck is the thing that bugs me is everyone else giving so much of a fuck that it makes me want to argue it. Because it's like, you guys are so fucking adamant that, oh, you're anti-science? Well, what fucking degree do you have to sit and talk shit about all these fucking people? Like, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like, just because Facebook puts some fucking fancy little goddamn go get your COVID vaccine, you're like, oh, fucking, I don't know. That shit pisses me off.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, I really do.
Or celebrity videos.
Yeah, it's like shut the fuck up. Like, don't fucking.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm the type of person. I mean, you obviously know this about me. I'll argue something just for the sake of arguing it, and so I feel like I have to take that side of it because everyone else is taking that side of it. It's like I fucking for the longest time I hate AC/DC just because everyone else likes AC/DC, and it's like no, they fucking.
Oh, that's fucked up.
I know that, but it's a good argument. It's just like fucking. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so anyways, with this COVID, did I just fucking railroad you? Was there more about your grandpa? Or were you?
No, I mean, I should have started with that and ended at, I'm getting a shot. I got one shot. I have to go back and get a second one. But, and look, and the thing is, I see a bunch of people on there on Facebook, some family members and stuff being like, angry at people who haven't got it. I'm not that at all. I'm thinking it's a personal decision for each person. It's not I'm going to get a shot, to better society. It's you want to or you don't. It doesn't fucking I don't care. I'm not for adults telling other adults what to do, right? It's like libertarianism shit. But, yeah, personal choice, whatever.
But we've gone through like 100 stages of this pandemic, and now we're at the stage of fucking this is the next thing is this vaccine fucking thing. We're 40% of the way through this whole fucking argument. By the end of this, like, it's legitimately going to be like, if you don't have the vaccine, your liberties will be cut like in half, and it'll be liberties that not your government guarantees you. It'll be liberties like society liberties, like going into certain restaurants or fucking flying or fucking going to sporting events or fucking blah, blah, blah. They're going to be like, well, you need to prove you have this for the safety of all of us. And it's like, okay, well, now there is no choice anymore. You've ostracized a fucking quarter, a percentage of the public. Like, I that's fucking weird to me. That's what makes me even want to dig my heels in more. Like, this is fucking weird. Like, this is very fucking, like science fiction movie fucking weird. And the fact that I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird.
I wonder how it's going down in other countries, because other countries have have vaccine too. I wonder.
I feel like probably all the big ones are the same as us. I mean, I have a friend that lives over in Australia, and it seems like the sentiment over in Australia is the same. Seems like the sentiment in Canada is the same. You know what I mean? Fucking, I think all major countries are going through the same exact thing we're doing. It's probably different in third world countries. They probably just don't give two fucks, but... Yeah. You know, it's like, oh, wow, there's a fucking thing killing people. Like, well, I don't know what I'm going to eat next fucking meal, so go fuck yourself, you know?
Right. Yeah. 99% of survival? Fuck.
Yeah. if I don't eat next, it's 100% chance of death, so go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And it's like, and with me, it's like for me, I feel like no one's going to convince me to do anything. I have to convince myself. So the only one to convince me is going to be me. If at best you can trick me into convincing myself to do something. So it's like all this time I've been planning not to take it, because when I was talking like my buddy John and stuff, and he said things like, if it wasn't for the media, would you even have noticed? And I was like, no, I wouldn't have noticed. I wouldn't have noticed anything. If at best it would have been like a worse flu season. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's not that bad of a thing. But then I finally got to a point where I convinced myself. And I feel like for some reason, it was this second trip this year that pushed me over the edge, which now feels like too much traveling in the next couple months. And I'm not looking forward to it.
You really, I mean, technically you caved into just society pressure, right? It was just your family, right? That's just like, you didn't want to have that conversation with your family. Like, oh, are you vaccinated? And you're like, no. And they're like, oh. No, I didn't. Because I literally just had to do this with my family. Like, part of my family was just, we were supposed to, well, whatever. My aunt and uncle up there, they do a fucking 4th of July party every year. It's a huge fucking 4th of July party. And this is a little different because we technically, like, had COVID, a positive case in the fucking family. But we were all supposed to go up to my aunt's house. And it's this huge party every fucking year on the 4th. There's always, like, 50 fucking people that show up to this my aunt's house to watch fireworks and fucking, and we canceled that whole fucking thing. You know what I mean? Because it was like, well, we can't come because that's not really fair. Yeah, to all these fucking random people to be showing up with a positive case of COVID. You know what I mean? Like that's not legit. So we all canceled, but it was the first time a bunch of my brothers have all been in the same fucking place in like 15, 20 years. You know what I mean? So we wanted to go up and see my aunt and uncle. They're getting older. My uncle's like fucking 80, 85 or something like that. And fucking, but the next day they're like, well, we're fucking vaccinated, so we don't really give a shit. But then a few of my cousins like just left. They're like, oh, they're coming and they're not vaccinated. And they're like, yeah, we're out. And like, so they just fucking took off. And like, it a little different because there was a positive case of COVID. So, you know, a little bit more like, but it was like, it kind of would have been the same fucking, I don't know, the same deal. Like, oh, you didn't get vaccinated? Like, oh, well, I guess we're not coming.
It's all stupid. And I'm not excited about
so this is kind of ties into this. I had a weird fucking interaction with someone, a good friend of mine, fucking yesterday or the day before, fucking text me. Well, he texted me like 5 days ago and he's like, hey, I'm in town. He's been out of town for a while going to school, and fucking he's like, hey, I'm in town, we should meet up. And I'm like, and we haven't talked in a while, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, like blah blah. And then at the end of like that first set group of text messages, he's like, I was like, oh, I got COVID, I can't right now, you know, I'm doing quarantine. And at the end of the text message, he's like, well, he's like, I got vaccinated because I'm not fucking retarded. And I'm like, it was weird because I'm like, I feel like that's directed at me. Like, I was like, I don't know if that's a blanket statement, but I was like, I'm pretty sure that that text message is directed like you're a fucking retard, like kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah. And just like,
sounds like
it. And but we didn't talk about that, but I'm just kind of assuming. I was like, huh, that was weird.
Yeah.
And then he texts me like 3 days later and he's like, hey, This is just going down a weird path. I'm just kind of venting to someone. Fucking, he texts me this fucking book, this huge book, right out the gate. It's just like, you're a fucking piece of shit. And just like, whoa, Jesus Christ. And he's just like, he fucking, the whole text messages, he's just like, you fucking introduced me to all these drugs. And then fucking, and then,
oh my God.
Yeah. And then he's like, you fucking, and then when I needed you the most, you fucking abandoned me and left me at my lowest. And he's like, congratulations on your family and your career. I fucking, you're a piece of shit. And just like, geez.
Sounds like he's in love with you.
It was very fucking weird. Very fucking weird. And like, I've gone through like every emotion about the text. At first, I'm like, yeah, I was like, I don't know. Like, you just like, whoa, Jesus Christ. Like, someone is coming out swinging at me right now.
I hate that.
What?
Just like, let's be super duper honest in a text message that just, it's like no setup, it's just kind of random out the blue. And it's like, I'm fucking doing something right now. I don't know. I'm not for that anymore.
The thing that bugs me is that this kid's had a fucking rough little run for the last year or two. And fucking, I feel bad.
It's your fault too.
The thing that just irritates is like, I couldn't imagine, like, I can pinpoint in my head, like, certain people that introduced me to certain drugs in my life. Like, and yeah. I couldn't imagine texting them and blaming them for any misfortune in my life. It'd be like, that's not your fault. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's my fault. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to, like, justify. He has some justification to be mad at me. I get it. And I'll accept some of it. But it is just like, it was pretty far out of the fucking blue. Was just like, whoa, bro. Like, okay. Like, I didn't mean to. Sorry that you fucking have a drug problem.
Is that what you said?
No, I didn't say, I never texted him back. I was just like, okay. Because, I mean, he ended the conversation with just like, have a nice life. And it's like, okay, well, see you later. Like, I'm not, I go through, I really... I try to like, revenge is best served cold type thing. Like really try to think things through before when it's a big situation, you know what I mean? Like to try to not react instantly because I don't know if my reaction's the best reaction. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, but essentially almost all situations like that, I find myself doing that, just never responding. Just like I don't know what to, I want to attack you. You know what I mean? Like that's my initial response. Like what I want to do is just like, fuck you, fucking, blah, 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 blah. And then my next wave of thought is like, no, I should be nice. You know what I mean? And be like, hey, apologize. Be like, I'm sorry you feel that way, blah, blah, blah. But then in the end of the day, like 99% of the time, whenever I'm faced with anything like that, I just stop responding. I'm just like, okay, well,
yeah.
Well, see you later.
So it was in person. If it was in person, you think you would have responded with anger?
Well, and that's what's weird is in the message, he's like, well, he's like, I wanted to tell you this in person, but I finally just decided that he's like, that's why I texted you earlier this week. He's like, but I decided to just tell you you're a piece of shit and blah, blah, blah. And then I was wondering, I was like, man, I wonder what would have happened in person. Like, I was like, we would have just fought. Like, it would have just ended up in a fist fight. Like, I mean, that's the only way I can see it. Like, you can't sit down with a dude and him fucking be like, you're a fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean? Blah, blah. And what are you supposed to say? I'd be, fuck you, man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's like, so I'm kind of glad we didn't meet up because I could see that going very sideways, very quick. But
it's fucking weird.
It was very weird.
It's weird. There's one buddy I used to have that was like one of my best friends, and I introduced them to a lot of different drugs, going from them never doing anything and like, when you're younger, kids always say like, I'm never going to do that. Yeah. When we get to high school, like I'm never getting into that kind of stuff. And then everybody does. But I introduced him to a lot of stuff and he kind of like went off the deep end for a little while. Like I introduced him to stuff and then he ran with it farther than I ever would have. And I've always felt kind of guilty about that. If he like sent me that text, I'd be like, I do kind of feel kind of responsible. Well,
that's the ridiculous thing is there's a part of my relationship with this person that I do feel bad about, but it's not the drugs at all. Like, it has nothing to do with drugs. And that's what was like out of the blue was like, you were doing drugs before you met me. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I just introduced you to a little bit worse of drugs. But I was like, you're still fucking doing cocaine and shit. Like, don't fucking act like some gospel kid. And I like was like, here, try some weed, man. Like, no, you were fucking smoking weed, drinking, doing Molly, doing coke. Like, don't fucking act like I fucking ruined your life. Like, you ruined your life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Weird. It's very weird. I can't.
That's fucking really
I just
weird.
don't. It really. It just really bugs me when people won't take personal responsibility. And what really bugs me is when people won't take personal responsibility for the good things in their life. That makes me more mad than anything. When people are like, like me and this same kid had a fucking discussion years ago about being thankful to someone else about getting a job. And I was like, no. He didn't get the job. I got the job. And he's like, well, if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have the job. I was like, yeah, but he didn't do the initial interview. He hasn't proved himself in the career. Like, no, I did that. I'm responsible for all that. No, that's cool of him for doing that. But he literally did 2% of the job. I did the other 98. And he, like, we had a whole argument. And he's like, and I'm like, dude, why are you not accepting responsibility for your own fortune? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It really bugs me when people won't do that. And it's like, the same person that won't do that is tenfold the person that blames other people for their misfortune. And it's like, dude, it's not anybody else's fault. Like, ever. Never. Not once. Like, sometimes things can get dealt kind of bad in your favor, but 99% of it is always your own doing. Like, always.
No, they're just wandering through life out with no control. And it's just everybody else. Yeah. I do that. I do that 100% with jobs. I say it is all credit to these 3 or 4 people. No credit for me. I do that constantly.
And maybe it's my ego fighting that shit. I am grateful for people that have done things for me, but in the end of the day, it's like, no, I'm here because of me. Like, and I think it's a good. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to be egotistical in that way. It's like it's a drive. Yeah. It's fucking like, no, I'm driven. I did this. I will continue to do this. Like. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I usually only get annoyed when people give the credit to God and just say like, without God is responsible for me winning the Super Bowl, and it's like, dude, give yourself a little credit for getting up early every morning for the last fucking 10, 20 years and working your ass off. But I do it with jobs where I'm saying it's credit to everybody else, not me. Yeah, I didn't do anything, so I'm a hypocrite in that factor.
Well, and then I had a girl fucking. Kind of the same deal. I had a girl fucking hit me up like 4 years ago. I think I may have said this.
I think you told
because she hit me up twice and did it 2 times, and I was like, "Are we living in La La Land?"
Because of AA.
Yeah, because of AA, and so I think I've had that happen with 2 different people. So I think it's happened to me 3 times in my life where an AA person has came up to me and it caught me off guard, and then I'm like, "Oh, I get it. You're fucking whatever."
3 different people.
I think so.
Jesus, that's never happened to me.
Well, I hang out with a lot of fucking weirdos, so
yeah, you do.
Probably it.
I'm not so mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all, really. But I don't like the other guy doing it. That made it sound like he's like breaking up with you or some shit.
It was very weird. Well, and what was super fucking weird is in the text message he blames me and this other person. He blames me for the drug part. But then he blames this other person for not being there for him. He's like, we were all best friends, and you guys kicked me out of this house, and then never wanted to talk to me again, and just left me to rot. And then I just sat my phone down. I was like, oh, fuck this. And then like a few hours later, the other buddy called me, and I'm like, well, I know what this is all about. You know what I mean? Like, fucking obviously, you're just calling me out of the blue. And I was like, I bet I was answer. I'm like, you get a text message a few hours ago? He's like, yeah. The fuck was that all about? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't know. And then we got to talking, and I'm like, what's really weird about this with this other person is the other person was super hurt by the kid who sent the original text message because he wanted to be friends with him. Like, he cut him out of his life. And I remember this vividly, like 4 years ago, because this kid was complaining about it. They were best friends, and he's like, dude, I fucking call him all the time. He won't answer his phone. He won't fucking text me. He's like fuck him, man. Like, I'm trying. We were best friends. Why the fuck won't he be? And then he fucking 4 years later, he's saying the same thing he did to him. He's like blaming him on, and I'm like, dude, that's fucking weird. I was like, I didn't even know what to tell you, bud. I was like, yeah, and he was like, dude, what the fuck? He's like, I didn't do anything, and I'm like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, it was fucking weird. It was weird. I was like, in the end, I was like, he has to be high as fuck right now. Like, this isn't a sober person we're talking to right now. Yeah. Like, he's fucking coming out of a fucking, coming down off drugs or something like that, and is just not thinking properly. Because this is weird. It was, the drug thing was like, okay, but then when he brought this other kid into it, I was like, that is weird. Because this kid was super hurt that you did exactly what you're blaming him on. Like, huh. So
people can justify anything. And it's crazy that, just say, for example, that kid lives another 60 years and keeps that same resentment towards you guys the whole time, and lives his whole life with that that's the reality that happened, and never sees a way around it. I don't know. You want those people to someday wake up and realize and take responsibility for their own actions. But I bet a lot of people just live their whole life thinking it was my dad who fucked me up, or it was Eric who fucked me up, or it was her, that girl, and just never get over it. Which you may live, as you probably have and I probably have, where you live so many years with that girl ruined my life. Mm-hmm. But then eventually you're no, maybe I was a crazy person or whatever, and it wasn't meant to be, and you kind of just get over it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like he's hanging on to some shit that didn't even happen, which is that's just crazy.
Then this is getting down into, when we get to this level of thought, it's do you ever stop and really think about your own, the way you perceive things that have happened in your life, and is that really how that fucking went down? You know what I mean? Things you've told yourself over and over again, maybe not necessarily as crazy, blaming someone, but just a situation that played out in your life, and you're like, have I been honest with myself? You know what I mean? That's actually the way things transpired. If you're talking shit, if you have someone you don't like, and you telling this story about this person, and you're da da da, and then fucking okay, everything I just said, there's two sides to that story. If you talk to the other kid, he would tell you a totally different side to that. You know what I mean? It's no one ever thinks they're wrong. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm wrong. I'm telling this story, and it's I'm oh, no, I didn't do anything. Fuck him. He needs to take responsibility. And it's if you talk to him, he'd just be no, he's fucking blah, 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 blah. I don't know. It's really hard to not, to subjectively, look back at your own fucking life. You know what I mean? Things you've done to other people. I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard to do. And sometimes in situations like this, I'll have that thought process. Am I being fair? Am I being fair? Am I being fair to actually what fucking happened? I do it with family all the time, because there's a lot of deep-rooted family shit. You know what I mean? I'm am I being fair here? With my dad. You know what I mean? I fucking hate, do not have any relationship with my dad. And it's am I being fair? You know what I mean? Am I being fair with this? Just cutting him out of my life completely? You know.
It's crazy, because when I was taking drum lessons, and a lot of times it's just turned into me and my drum teacher just talking and not playing drums. I think I may have been complaining about my dad for one point. I know I was to him, and I was just saying some stuff, and he's like, yeah, but you don't know if you would have done any different in that situation. And he's like, here's what I think. I think parents always do the best that they can do. He's now, and that's across the board. Even if you have the parent that's a complete fucking just disaster of a parent, just a horrible person, they're still doing the best that they can. They just don't have a lot of the best that they can in them. They don't have the tools, they don't have the capabilities in them. And I'm and I understood what he was saying, and I was I never thought of it that way at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
That's
That even if they're just like they hate their kid, they tell their kid that they suck or whatever. It's not my experience, but it's other people's experience. Like, or they're mean to them, they abandon them. It's like that's the best that they could do. Literally, like abandoning their kid was the best that they could do.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
Like, I don't know how much if I've really talked about my father on this at all, but I mean, I haven't talked to my father in fucking a hot minute. And even before, like, essentially, since I was 9, I've had very little contact with my dad. It's just been like 5 years later, little contact, 10 years, little contact, just these weird sporadic fucking time. Like, and the thing I always hated is my dad always talked shit about my mom. And whenever we'd be together, and I'd be like, it would just fucking piss me off. And I'd be like, stop fucking talking about my mom. But then as I get older, I kind of see, like, it was weird because my mom would kind of do the same thing, just not as not as jabby as my dad would do it. But it was like, as I get older, I'm like, you were filling me with a lot of fucking hate towards my dad in just a real subtle way. You know what I mean? It was like, but I hated my dad for doing it to my mom, but I never hated my mom for doing it to my dad. You know what I mean? Like,
that's weird.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I don't know. When I was younger, I fucking hated him. I was like, fuck you. You abandoned me. You know what I mean? Like, I was fucking 10 and you went years without even talking to me. Go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? And it was like, and then but once I got like in my 20s, what I hated my father for was anytime he'd come around, he would like mooch off the kids. He would like he did it to a bunch, like my sister. He'd just move in with my sister because he fucking has nothing. You know what I mean? Like he never had any retirement, so now he just lives off Social Security, and so he'll just like move into a kid's house and just like mooch off them as much as possible till they get sick of it, and then he'll go to the next kid and be like, well, fucking that kid, and then it's just a woe is I story, and like I just can't deal with it. Like I just won't fucking I just won't deal with it. Just like, you're not gonna cry to me about this. Like, it's not my fault that you're in your situation. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. But then, like what we were just talking about is sometimes I'll like think about that and just be like, am I being fair? You know what I mean? Am I treating him that way only because I've spent the last fucking 20 years of my life, 22 years of my life fucking repeating in my head, fuck him. You know what I mean? So now whenever I have any interaction with him, I'm going into it with this fuck him, mentality. And it's like, am I really being fair to him? And then that thought process will lean into like, I only have like probably realistically 5 more years while my dad's alive. You know what I mean? Like, like in 10 years, am I going to look back at this and be like, why did you, wait? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't you have a relationship with your father?
Probably. Yeah, you probably will.
You know what I mean? And it's like, fuck. It's rough, dude. Life can get rough sometimes. These decisions you make. Like, because...
Yeah. Because maybe 30, 40 years from now, when you're fucking just sitting around chain smoking, drinking, standing over children with a fever in the middle of the night, and you have a thought about your dad, and you're like, oh, I fucking hate that guy. Maybe if you did something in the next 5 years, then you would avoid that thought in, 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I had a lot of resentment towards, like, mainly my dad, a lot to my mom too, of like bringing the kids into like the issues of like, I don't know if we're going to be able to make rent this month, or like, or like whatever, like, think like how young I was. And it's like, I don't know if you should be maybe that's why I have so much anxiety to this day. Maybe like, I don't know if you should be bringing the kids in on like, we can't afford this, we can't afford that, we're going to have to in it, all this crazy stuff. And it's like, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I have almost verbatim the same.
But then just to think about what my drum teacher said, it's like, maybe all parents just do the best that they can, even if they're scumbags, like trying to mooch off the kids. That's a dirtbag move. You don't ever want to be that parent, but it's like, maybe he's still just doing the best he can. He just doesn't have any tools to work with.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fucking
And then the
weird.
worst, I feel like the worst is probably my biggest fear in life is always been seeing attributes of his in myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
oh yeah. Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, dude, I'm the same. I think it all the time. I look a lot like him. You know what I mean? Like young. I'm like, dude, I am my father. Like I am my father. It's the same person.
Yeah, it's weird. It's fucking really crazily weird. It's almost like sometimes you'll like I'll like grab something off the table and just looking at my hand or whatever, and I'll be like, it's just weird, you know? But I guess every kid probably has like, oh, I admired my parents for this thing, but I'll fucking die before I become like them in this other way, you know? Everyone's fucking story is probably similar.
Yeah. It's weird boys and their fathers. You know what I mean? There's so much fucking... That's like the tale as old as time. You know what I mean? Fucking... And I think it's what drive...
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I try to use it as fuel. You know what I mean? Like fucking... That, like, I'm not going to be like that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be like that. Especially, like, with kids. Like, I couldn't imagine fucking... Because there was like one of the things that irritated me, like that really stuck with me as a kid, was when I was, we were in Oregon. I was probably 8, and fucking, it was like the fucking everything was coming to a head with my parents. My dad like wasn't working, and fucking my mom couldn't afford. You know, it was just like, and the same thing. Like my parents did pretty good about keeping finances, but it was like things were getting so heated, and then there was 5 siblings in the house, so like I'm the youngest, so I'm getting their feedback because they're like, you know, 17, 16, so they knew more about the situation than I did. So they're talking amongst themselves with me in the room, so I'm figuring out what's happening in the house, you know what I mean? And then this one night, like everything seemed pretty fine. I knew that there was a little bit of an issue, but not like a big issue. And then one night, fucking, my mom's like cooking dinner, and they start fucking at each other in the kitchen. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just sitting there like stunned because my parents, like the first time I've seen like real anger, you know what I mean? And like fucking, they're like at each other in the kitchen. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then then it gets real. Like they're screaming at each other, and I'm like, dude, yeah, I'm like crying. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then my dad grabs me and fucking like pulls me into him, and he's like, you see what you're doing to your son? You see what you're doing to your son? And my mom's like, you get your fucking hands off of him. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And just like screaming like, ah! And then the cops showed up, dude. It was out of control. And like when I was younger, I used to hold that against him tough. I was like, why did you do that? You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, you fucking scared the living shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so... That's
weird.
And, yeah, so I think about, like, that kind of shit with, my kids. Or even before I had kids, I'm just like, I will never be that way. You know what I mean? Like, I will never... Right. Yeah. I'll never make a kid feel weird. You know what I mean? Like, fucking be scared. Like, it's so fucking, I couldn't imagine, like, me and Cheyenne, I couldn't imagine, like, we're like, we don't argue, but we would never, like, make Aurora feel weird, you know what I mean, in, like, a house. Like, if I was fucking pissed, I would just close up and wait until we're alone and be like, you ever fucking do that in front of kids, I'll fuck, you know, like, fuck you, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how we got here.
You ever hide my memory card from me again from the garage? I'll fucking lose it. Yeah, I don't know how we got there either.
It's good. It was a good conversation. So, given COVID and then getting back into this video game thing, you know, because I have nothing to do, so I started playing video games. We may have talked about this, but I started playing PUBG again. You know,
PUBG's
got the old crew back on PUBG, dude. I'm at like 99 days playtime. I'm at almost 100 days total playtime. That's in-game playtime. That's fucking insane. It's almost a third of a year. a real percentage of my life has been fucking spent playing that game. A
third of a year, almost.
Third of a fucking year. Isn't that insane? Isn't that fucking?
That's really crazy.
Insane. It's really bad. It's really sad. So, as soon as we're done with this, I'll go play some PUBG. PUBG is not dumb.
Play Madden. It's fucking fun.
Dude, I just can't wait till the new Elder Scrolls comes out. Then I'll be fucking on that shit. I can't wait for that game.
So you're playing PUBG again. How long is that going to last? You're not going to keep doing it when you go back to work.
PUBG? I don't know. Maybe. If I go to Seattle, I'll be fucking doing it. Just be sitting in a hotel room. Fucking... I don't know. I really got to stop playing. I love playing the game. I'm really into it right now again. But
I heard you're pretty good at it, but I want to see a fucking live stream so I can see the proof.
Yeah, I'm stupid good at this game. I'm the best it's ever been, son. No, I'm just good at shooters. But whoever told you that, which I know who that was, he's pretty goddamn good at shooters. We got a little team. There's 3 of us that play together. That we're pretty fucking good at shooter games.
Cody Johnson?
No, the other one.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, yeah, that's awesome, man. So should I go into a weird sexual site that I found, or give you a riddle you can see if you can solve a riddle?
Either one. Let's do the riddle.
Okay. Well, you might have heard this one already, but you think you're pretty smart. So let's see if you know the answer. And after I heard the answer, I realized I'd probably heard this one too. Okay, 2 men are found at the bottom of a tall cliff, each wearing a backpack. Have you heard this? Mm-mm. Okay, 2 men are found at the bottom of a tall cliff, each wearing a backpack. One of them lies on the ground dead with a closed pack, and the other stands alive with an open pack. What is inside the backpacks?
Parachutes?
Oh, you have heard it.
No, that's just really easy.
God damn it. All right.
That was very easy. I said parachutes, nice. And I'm like, I wonder if this is a trick, because that was too fucking easy.
Well, I didn't know it, but as soon as I heard the answer, I was like, oh, I think I've heard that before.
Did that really stump you?
Yeah.
Huh. Some of them, some riddles are fucking actually really hard. That was a really easy one.
That is definitely an easy one. So, I'm a fan of a guy named Jordan Peterson. I follow him and I follow his daughter on Instagram, Michaela Peterson, and she posted a picture in a bikini or something, and she was like, here's more content for my WikiFeet page. And she's like, just kidding, don't Google it. And I was like, oh, now I'm going to Google it. And while we've talked about a wide variety of things on this show before, including this, I believe, but it's no surprise that it exists, but it's just a WikiFeet page, like Wikipedia, but for feet. And I'm always kind of fascinated because I'm like, I don't understand the sexual attraction to feet. But I did a few searches on here, and this site's legitimate. And give me a name of a celebrity.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's a guy. Give me a name of a fucking woman celebrity.
You said a celebrity. Are women?
Jesus
Christ!
Women
not into men's feet?
I don't think so.
I mean, of course there's going to be pictures of everyone's fucking feet that's a celebrity. Like,
yeah.
I don't fucking know. Melissa McCarthy.
Wow. And it says their shoe size on everyone. Shoe size 7. And there's a lot of pictures of her feet. I just don't understand. It's like, it's not a surprise. One of those things where early in the week, you're like, this will make a good topic. And then you get on the show and you're like, nah, it's not that good of a topic.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
They give her 4 out of 5 stars out of 900 votes.
Melissa McCarthy?
Natalie Portman had, yeah.
Why? She has to have disgusting feet. They can't.
I mean, they look pretty big. It's just a size 7.
She's got, well, no, not that, but she has to have like something like cankle things going on, which can't be what people who are into feet that That's so gross. Feet.
I don't understand.
I just had this whole conversation. It's funny that you bring this up. Like 2 days ago, because Vince brought it up that he fucking despises feet. Says that feet are the grossest thing on the planet to him, and he hates them. And I don't. I'm like indifferent about the whole thing. I'm like right down the middle. I don't fucking love feet, but I don't fucking hate feet. Like a good hot girl in a foot is like, yeah, it's a good looking foot. Like she's hot. Every part of her body is good looking. Her hand looks good. Like they're just everything's symmetrical on her body. It's a good looking foot. I don't like get off to her foot. Like I wouldn't look at pictures of feet and be like, start masturbating. That's not what I'd do. But I can. It's not gross to me. A gross foot's a gross foot. A good looking foot's a good looking foot. Not that they're like abnormally good looking. Just not a gross foot. It's a skinny hot girl foot. I'm not disgusted, but I don't. I also why is there the other side of it. I don't understand people that are like attracted to feet. Like
a lot of
like
people.
Getting jerked off by foot. Like it does zero for me. Like it just be like. I mean, I would do it. Well, I've never done it, but I would do it. Like I would be like, okay, let's try it out. Like, but I'll try out anything. It wouldn't disgust me.
Well, if Kim Kardashian was like, let me jerk you off with my feet, I wouldn't be like, no, ew, get away from me. I'd be like, yeah, okay, let's do it. But I'm not like, I wouldn't like pay for like foot pics.
Yeah, same deal. But I mean, I could. I
don't know why. It seems like there's a large amount of people that will, and I don't know why. So, it says you always think like when boys are like young or something and something happens, like it gets into their sexual thing for their life. It's like, are all these men, it's like their aunt drops like high heels, throws like high heels across the floor and it crashes, and then for the rest of their life they're like obsessed with high heels. But it's like, is like a third of the male population, like something happened to them with feet when they were young? I don't know. I wish someone would explain it to me.
I think a lot of sexual like lanes, whatever genre, whatever you want to call it, like different, feet, whatever the fucking fetish. That's what I was looking for.
Fetish. Yeah.
I always feel like it comes from like, I feel like with men, like most of those come from like you're not supposed to do them, and then that makes it more like taboo and more like sexually arousing. Most things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so I can wrap my head around it. But you know what I mean? Like, because, but I don't know. It was funny. I kind of zoned out. I wish I would have paid attention because it's funny that you're talking about this. On our game chat the other night, this was like a fucking 15-minute conversation about feet. And one kid, I zoned out right when he started talking about it. And I wasn't paying attention, but he was giving a whole explanation on why it is. He said that there's like science behind it, and I just zoned out and wasn't listening to anything he was saying. But he's just like, oh, there's a reason why feet are sought after, like blah, blah, blah. Like something to do with the male psyche or whatever. So I don't know. Someone's taking a shot at trying to explain why it's a thing. But I mean, if you're going down that rabbit hole, it's like, dude, there's some fucking... I mean, what's up with the fucking stepbro, stepsis? You know what I mean? That one's weird. That one, I like that. That one I don't understand. Like, if I go down a fetish page, like, I can get into a bunch of it. BDSM, like, all that shit. I'm like, yeah, let's check this shit out. Like, I can get into weird shit on that whole path. The incest, the fucking... Yeah, there's like a few ones that it's just like, I don't get why this is so popular. Like...
I'm into it.
Yeah,
I think because it's taboo. Because they're always like, no. What if mom and dad find out? No,
okay.
No. It's stepsister.
Oh yeah, stepsister.
Yeah, I don't think they're allowed to say mom or sister, but they're allowed to say stepmom and stepsister.
Yeah,
stepmom and stepsister are both great.
Sis? Like it's so fucking weird. It's
great.
Dude,
can I borrow your car? Well, what are you gonna do for me?
Dude, genre on porn is just so fucking weird. And what's weird is that it's not out in the open at all. Like, the weird thing is to me is like, if you go on a porn site, it's like, dude, fucking massive percentage of men are on porn sites. You know what I mean? Well over probably 80%. So it's like every fucking dude you see on the street, walking around, all your friends, they're on these same sites. But if you're ever in a group of like 8 guys and you bring up this conversation and you talk about like categories, no one admits to like weird shit that they're into. And it's like, huh, so you're just telling me that there's just the Russian bots are out here fucking watching all these fucking porn videos? Like, I don't think so. I think, you know, and I was listening to a podcast, What the Fuck or whatever, and one of this transgender girl that is in this band that I'm super into, she was talking all about this. She was going off on it, and she was saying, she's like, you realize transgender porn makes up like a fucking massive percentage of pornography on the internet. And they're like, but yet it's like, and that was her argument, is like literally 20% of the dudes that you know are into transgender porn, or whatever the percentage was. You know, it was like a high percentage. It wasn't like 1%. You know, it was I can't remember what it was, but it was like over 10%. And it's like, so you would never hear a dude like admit to that, or incest porn, or fucking fat girl porn, or granny porn, or, you know, just go down that fucking list, and it's fucking, you know what I mean? Like, there's some fucking shit on there that, I don't know. I find it very strange. It's funny that men are very closed about that, but it's the same thing. It's like, I feel like I've never understood that difference between men and women, because it feels like women are allowed that, you know, and it's way more acceptable in a group of women to like admit their kinks or weird shit they've done, or just being like gay or lesbian. You know what I mean? Like almost half the women out there have like made out with another girl. You know what I mean? And we'll just admit it willy-nilly. You know what I mean? Just like, oh yeah, I was in college, I made out with this girl. Yeah, we fingered each other. We were just testing shit out. You would never hear a dude admit anything like that. You know what I mean?
No,
like fucking, yeah, I was in college and I jerked something.
Yeah, we just blew each other. We were testing it out. Yeah. I think it's closer to 100% for women. I think every girl's sleepover, all they do is practice kissing. That's what I think in my mind.
I had a girl once. I'm such a fucking idiot for this. This girl I was dating a long time ago, fucking, she admitted to me, she's like, I feel stupid now for reacting the way I did. I do not condone the way I reacted at all. I'm pretty upset with myself looking back at this, but I was a very insecure young boy. God. But she fucking was like, hey, I got to tell you something. She's like, you know, I had this like, I don't know, this sleepover or whatever. And she had the fucking like 10 girls over, and she's like, yeah, we all just dyked out. We all just fucking got naked, ate each other out, like blah, blah, blah. They're all like 17-year-old girls, you know what I mean? And is that not the coolest fucking thing ever? And I'm just like, I legitimately got mad. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? You get to just go have sex with 10 different fucking people? I'm not allowed to do this. And she's like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Looking back on it now, it's like, God, that was fucking awesome. That was pretty legit. I should have gotten a bunch of details of it. You know what I mean? Like, she was willing to fucking start talking about it, and I was fucking being a fucking asshole.
Dude, I had a girl tell me like almost the same exact thing, but there was just like 4 of them.
It might have been 4. It was definitely more than 3. This
Jesus.
was fucking a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was 18, she was 17, fucking something like that.
Well, I've never looked up feet videos before, but maybe I should try to see how they look.
I've never looked up a foot video.
I'm into
I've looked into like a bunch of different fetish ones just to, you know, test the water, see what's going on over on that side of the fence. Foot's never even, it's just like, why?
I know. I don't understand. But I don't understand guys that want to watch like girls peeing and shit like that.
Oh, see that? Okay, I was trying to think of other ones that I just don't get, and like poop stuff. Yeah. What the fuck, dude? Like, why are you into that? Like, I don't know. I
don't know either.
That is weird.
It's weird. I can't imagine back in the day where dudes had to go into stores and buy stuff. I don't know. And you were seen as like a crazy pervert if you did that. If you got caught doing that, you were like a complete pervert.
Yeah.
If you see someone you know walking into a store to buy porn, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing that. What a sick fuck. He is not coming over anymore for fucking football Sundays.
Yeah.
That's how it used to be. But now everyone just has it in their pocket. Their dirty little secret.
Yeah. I feel like stores have made around here. I remember going to there's a fucking we have like a superstore porn store here. It's really weird. We have this place like it's not that far away. It's like 5 minutes from my house. It's fucking I've been in there one time. I went to go buy fucking
I bet you have.
I went in to go, but they sell fucking. Is when I was doing a lot more drugs. They sell fucking whippets there. You know what I mean? Like the canisters of fucking CO2 cans. You don't know what a whippet is?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so I went there to get whippets. Kind of saw what it was. It's a place called Peeps. But they do fucking, and it's like notorious in Beaverton. Like, I remember talking to my brother, and he brought up that store from fucking 25 years ago. He's like, hey, is that place fucking Peeps over there? Fucking. But fucking, it's like called an adult superstore. It's like it's like not the size of Walmart, but like a quarter of the size of Walmart. It's very fucking big. It is a very large fucking store. And, you know, it's everything you'd imagine in a porn store, just anything you could ever want. But then they also have like jerk off rooms, which is the only place I've ever seen. Because it always weird. You remember fucking Boondock Saints?
That's insane.
Like that whole fucking scene with the girls behind you like go into a place to go jerk off in front of a fucking window. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They have that in there. I've never done it. I want to do it just to fucking like.
Oh my God.
Just to go fucking experience what it's like. Because like it was when I first watched Boondock Saints, I was like, what? Like, is that a thing? Like, is that a play? Like, obviously it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you put money in, you just go jerk off while a girl fucking, yeah. But then that's also weird to me. It's like, why would you do that? Other than you're allowed to masturbate, which might be the appeal to that, versus just going to a strip club. You know what I mean? Like, why would you go stand with a window when you could just go pay money and they can, like, they touch you? You know what I mean? Like, they fucking rub on you. Yeah. Wouldn't you rather go have that than...
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't start jerking off. That you got to sign a waiver and everything. Like, I will not jerk off in this establishment.
I don't know if it said that, then I signed it, but I didn't read the whole fucking document. It looked like
you fucking signed it, you son of a bitch.
It looked like the fucking Constitution, so I'm not standing there reading it in the dark. I'll just fucking sign my name. Anyway, I remember I went to a place in Spokane called like the Castle or some shit in the Valley. It was a sex shop. I went with a girl, and
it's always so much easier going with a girl than it is by yourself.
Yeah. And I don't know why she wanted to go. So it was kind of, I think maybe me being a little naive and whatever, because I was just like giggling at everything, like holding stuff up and being like, look at this. Meanwhile, and then we didn't buy anything, but it's like, I don't know, maybe she wanted to buy something, but I was just like dying laughing at everything in there. And like, if I was in an aisle and someone walked into the aisle, I would go to a different aisle. Because I don't want to see what they're buying.
What I was fucking really surprised about, because yeah, I never really went and bought shit, but a few years ago, I fucking went and got a fucking dildo. You know how fucking expensive a dildo is? It's insane. It is fucking insane how expensive they are. I was blown away.
Dude, this is your problem with you not liking Amazon and you having to go to the brick and mortar stores.
It was fun though. It was a fun experience because then you get to go. Now I'm old enough. I don't give a shit. Like I'm old enough to where I really don't give a fuck. Like say whatever you want, make fun of me. Like it's not gonna faze me.
Yeah.
Like fucking, it was kind of nice going into the store. Like there was a lady, and she's like, "What are you guys in? What are you in here for?" And come check this out. And she fucking walked us through the store. And was like, "Oh, there's this and there's this and blah blah. I would suggest this. The battery, blah 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 blah." I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" But that fucking dildo was like $150 fucking dollars. I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" They're so fucking expensive. So fucking expensive.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Erick and Bradshaw at gmail.com.
Erick and Bradshaw at gmail.com.
That's fucking bizarre shit.
That's ErickAndBradShow. at gmail.com. My name's Eric. I was thinking that the other day. I'm like, I wonder if people have. Well, I guess our fucking logo says Eric. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. You'll appreciate this. God damn it. I was supposed to have one long story about booking this trip to California, doing the COVID vaccine, and then the other thing was that when we purchased tickets for Tampa, I wasn't the one purchasing them. I gave someone else money and they purchased all 3 tickets. Uh-huh. When I purchased this ticket for California, which I already did, I purchased the ticket. And at the end of booking the ticket, and every time I fly, I forget how to fly. I forget if I'm supposed to check in. I just forget everything. I'm like lost in an airport, even though I've flown like pretty much an average of once a year my entire life. I'm always like lost and I don't know. But when I get to the end of the website and I'm trying to make sure I have all this info and everything's right, and I've already purchased them, but I'm just going over my itinerary again, I literally end up calling the airline and stuff because I thought I fucked something up, whatever. But like, I see this little text at the bottom that's like starting in October 2023, everyone is going to need a real ID to fly. And I'm like, wait, what? And then I'm like, October 2023, and then I Google it, and it's like, it was going to be October of this year, but due to COVID, we just changed it to 2023. That's when I spent 5 hours on hold with the fucking U.S. passport office because I was paranoid about it. Well, I needed my passport because of this real ID bullshit. Like, literally within the past 3 weeks, they bumped it to 2023.
Dirty dogs.
And I was like 5 hours of that fucking mountain that I climbed for fucking to get to the U.S. passport office. You remember that story?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you fucking cocksuckers, man. Anyway. That is some bullshit. So now I don't even need a passport.
Well, you got it. So, if you need to leave the country, you're good to go.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm down with that. But Jesus Christ, spent 5 hours listening to that same classical loop for nothing. For fucking nothing.
Dirty dogs. That is pretty funny.
This country's going down the drain. You got people sitting at home for 4 weeks taking mortgage payments and fucking U.S. passport and this real ID bullshit not coordinating or something. It's fucking ridiculous.
You ready to wrap this up?
I have a couple more things.
Okay. Let's go.
They can be quick.
It's getting hot in here.
I just saw this thing. I saw this thing trending on Twitter. Moon wobble to bring surge in coastal flooding in 2030s.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing something about that.
So the moon, in the mid-2030s, like 2035, the moon is going to start wobbling a little bit, which apparently happens every so often. And
Why?
The coastal flooding... So what I found, I had to go to different websites. It said, like, I don't know if you're going to be able to understand this. The orbit of the moon around the sun is not quite on a flat plane. The actual orbit oscillates up and down a little bit. Think of spinning a plate on a stick. The plate spins, but also wobbles up and down.
Around the sun or around the earth?
It says around the sun. Because the moon goes around the sun as well.
Well, technically, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's orbiting the earth, so...
So that makes sense to me with the spinning plate metaphor.
Okay.
When the moon is at a particular part of its wobble, it pulls on the water in the oceans a bit more. This means for some years, some high tides are higher than they would have been. The result in increases in daily tidal rises will exacerbate coastal flooding, whether it will be nuisance flooding or magnified flooding. But NASA said it's going to be magnified flooding in the 2030s.
Huh.
I don't think I'm getting anxiety about it already.
You don't even live on the ocean. I don't think I'm
cut out.
So what the fuck are you talking about?
No, but maybe it'll make flooding here worse too.
You're so
I don't know. It's I don't think I'm cut out for this planet.
I don't think so either. You were just a
And
worrywart.
then I went and floated here, which the only
No,
place that
you
I have
didn't.
floated.
That does not sound like a Brad
Yeah.
thing to go do at all.
No, I'd done it in Spokane maybe half a dozen times, and their facilities are extremely nice. So I Googled it because after
that kind of floating. I thought you meant like floating down a
Yeah,
river.
yeah.
I was like, that does not sound like something
No,
Brad
no,
would
no.
do.
It's not, but it's in a float tank.
Okay.
That's dark and warm. I'd done it like half a dozen times in Spokane, but then I Googled it here. I just got the idea out of nowhere. I Googled it, and it's like, yeah, there's a float tank center a mile from my house. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that they were there, right downtown. So I went and did it. Not as good as the Spokane one, and I'm getting worse at it. So I'm not going to do it again, but I'm glad I went and did it.
Why are you getting worse at it? I don't understand.
I feel like the first time I did it, I was the best, and it's sort of just like I've just gone downtrend of being better at it, because the idea is to relax, and I'm struggling with that. My mom, I went and did it with my mom once, and she said she fell asleep, and they were like, that's perfect. The people there, they're like, that's like what you're looking for. And when I was going there, I was like, I'm so fucking tired that I'm going to be able to fall. I'm going to fall right asleep in that thing. But no, just my mind was just going a million miles an hour. It's just my ability to relax mentally. But after I was done, my body felt amazing. I was like, oh my God, I feel so good because of just how much salt is in there, that it's so good for your body. But mentally, it's just, I don't know. And this was the first time, this is probably my 7th or 8th time doing it. This was the first time I started feeling nauseous. And I was like, oh God, don't throw up in this thing. That is going to be really embarrassing. And I had to like open my eyes, and there's like a small crack of light in the tank. And I just had to like refocus myself. But maybe I was getting nauseous because I actually felt like I was kind of just like floating through the universe. But physically, I give it an A. Mentally, F. But that's all my fault.
Huh, I have yet to do it. I really want to do it.
Yeah.
I kind of forget about it a lot. Till someone brings it up like every 6 months. I'm like, oh yeah, they do that, don't they?
Oh, and the facilities you would find there would be fucking top notch.
I'm sure. I know there's a bunch of them.
You know. And they're like, how long do you want to do it for? And I'd never been asked that question before, because I think in Spokane, the only option is an hour. So I was like, oh, an hour. And, which seems like a good amount of time for me. I mean, I feel like Joe Rogan says he's done it for like 3 hours or some shit. But he gets like really high first. And I'm just like, and I was in there and I was like, please, I'm ready for this hour to be over with so I can get the fuck out of here. But then for like the next couple of days, my body just felt like I'd taken like 10 years off. But I probably won't be going back.
Why? Just because you're getting worse at it?
Yeah.
Okay.
One time in Spokane, I was in there and I was trying to remember this name of this documentary, and I couldn't fucking remember the name of the documentary, and it was driving me nuts, so I had to get out and Google it on my phone and then get back in just to like get past it.
I'm getting weirder about, I don't know, now I think about that, and do they drain the water every time?
Yeah, when I was done, I could hear the girl scrubbing it. Scrubbing
So it's
the tank.
brand new water every time.
I think so.
Okay. That makes me feel better.
She was scrubbing something. Yeah.
I don't know how I do with public. I used to love public pools, and I'm getting weird about shit in my older age. Fucking, I don't know if.
Oh yeah.
It'd be kind of gross to me now. One recently, dude, I haven't gone to an amusement park in years, but just thinking about an amusement park kind of gives me anxiety now. And just like, dude, I don't trust those fucking things. I used to love amusement parks. Fucking love that shit. And it's like, I don't know what it is. I think I'm getting more like doing more risk assessment in my fucking older age. Like,
yeah.
Like, is that worth it? Fucking, I don't know. Did you see that video that was going around? Fucking,
yes.
That fucking thing that's tipping and everyone grabs onto it and pulls it back down. Yeah, I said to watch that video. I'm like, I will never go on a carnival ride. Tell you that right now.
No.
Like
I already had that rule.
I'll probably do theme park shit just because, you know, I don't know. That seems more legit. Seems like more
I have no-
engineers and shit are involved in that. You know what I mean? More safety protocol bullshit.
It's still humans.
Still humans. Still humans.
I have no plan on doing that again. I've rode so many roller coasters. I feel like it's out of my system completely.
Yeah, you don't want to do it. I'd do it. I think they're fun.
No. I think
It's just a matter of time before that Silverwood one fucking crumbles apart. But fucking like Six Flags, those brand new ones, I'd put some faith in that. I just don't trust the wood ones.
I still see articles.
The wood ones, it just makes me nervous. Like the silver one, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like wood, it's sitting out there in the hot sun and then gets beaten in the rain and the snow and shit. It's like, that thing is not fucking safe. Like, there's no fucking way. That thing is falling apart. Steel makes more sense to me. Like, painted fucking steel. Like, it's just like, okay, I trust these bolts in this steel much more. And they're not going to
Well, I thought they'd even say that wood ones are safer.
I don't know about that. I
don't know about it either. They say like every 7 or 10 years or something, you're supposed to get a new roof. How is the same roller coaster up for fucking 30 years?
Yeah, Silverwood's been there for fucking ever. It was old when I showed up to Sandpoint. You know what I mean? That wasn't brand new. Fucking, and that was 20-something years ago.
That was like the 60s.
Is that when that one was built?
No, that's when you showed up to Sandpoint.
Oh, in the 60s? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no desire. But, and I think the float tanks, which is the ones that you would find in Portland, the ones that are in Spokane, after someone's done, they just push a button and the thing just like filters itself.
Huh.
And I think they said something about the salt in there helping with any kind of germ.
That's a lot of wasted water.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you just go in swim trunks? Is that the whole idea?
No, I go naked.
Oh, do you? Are you supposed to go naked?
Yeah. I have no idea. When I went to the one in Spokane the first time or whatever, I asked them, and they said some people go naked, some people wear swim trunks. When I researched the one here online on their website, they said, please bring a swimming suit.
Huh. Did you follow that rule?
No.
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 Because they just like put you
There's
in a
lock
room,
on the
right?
door.
With a...
And you lock the door.
And then you have this tank.
Yeah, and a shower.
Huh. Does like a bell go off or something like that? Like you got to get the fuck out of here?
Yeah. Well, the ones here, there's an intercom system, which is not a good way to do it. That is one of the things I didn't like, where she tells you, okay, I'm starting your time. And then when you're in the tank, she tells you, okay, your time's up. But the one in Spokane, when you go in and close the door and lock it and stuff, this like meditative music starts playing, like rainforesty sound. And then when the music stops, that means your time started. And then you're laying in the tank, and after an hour, the music slowly comes back up again, and then you know your time's up. And that's the right way to do it.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
That sounds relaxing.
It's very relaxing if you can turn your brain off.
How much does it cost?
The one here was far too expensive. I think the one in Spokane was like 40 or 50.
That's a lot of money to just go sit in a tank for an hour.
That's all right. I feel like a massage costs way more than that.
Well, I can't get massages, so fucking...
I can't either.
Why can't you get massages?
For my perfect massage, I feel would just be like 20 minutes just on my back. The only massage I ever did, I went and this lady did like my entire body, like from my toes to like my forehead for an hour. And I was like, and she did like everything, like fingers and stuff. And I'm like, this is too much. This is fucking way too much. You know, I don't need all this treatment. I feel guilty.
I'm too ticklish. I can't get a fucking massage. It drives me nuts. I really wish I could get a massage.
Yeah.
It's too ticklish.
Well, and I've done cryo here half a dozen times. That's my fucking game. I like that.
Is that the cold one?
Fucking...
Or what? What's that?
Yeah. Like negative 270 or whatever for 2 minutes. Just blast you.
Wait, like in water or out of water?
No, out of water.
What do you mean? What do you do?
Well, the ones like that Joe Rogan does is where you go stand in a room like a sauna and close the door. and they go like negative 270 in there for 2 minutes. The one here is you stand in a tube that goes up to here, so they don't do your head, and they just do your body and just blast
negative
cold.
270 degrees?
Yeah, for 2 minutes.
And your body can withstand that?
Oh, yeah. If it's your first time, so they'll do like negative 200. But I'm like, I've done it half a dozen times. I'm like, take me as fucking cold as you can go. Because afterwards you feel incredible. Like it does wonders for your body.
Negative 270.
Yeah.
That is so fucking cold. That just doesn't even make sense.
You could do it. It's not that bad. It's almost easier than when it's fucking negative 40 here and you step outside. That's way more uncomfortable.
That's all I think about. Like, what are you talking about? Like, negative fucking 20 is absolutely miserable.
Yeah. The cryo's better. It's very quick. 2 minutes goes by like nothing. And you're just standing there in your boxers.
I don't know what is going on. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because if you put me in boxers and had me go stand outside at 10 degrees, I'd fucking be furious for 2 minutes. I'd beat your ass.
40 degrees?
I'd fucking beat your ass.
Yeah.
I'd be like, we're fighting right now. I'm not standing outside. Why don't you just do that? It's fucking cold as shit. Just go get in your boxers and go stand outside in the wintertime for 2 minutes.
That's what everybody says. It's not the same thing.
How? How is it not the same thing? Because you're not paying for it?
Google it.
Is that you just like you're paying for it? You're like, no, this is great. This is great. This is well worth $50.
No, it's scientific.
Some dudes, wow. Whoever came up with that shit's a fucking genius, because you guys are all fucking retarded.
No. It's good for you.
Erick and Brad Show, you ready to wrap this up?
Yeah.
Erick and Brad Show at gmail.com, episode 62 in the books. He's Brad, I'm Erick. I hope you all have a good one. Bye!
Son of a southern man, daughter of a free man, children of the Civil War. Blackbird on a limb, both of them diving in deeper than they've been before. And down a red dirt path, covering their tracks, strangers in the light of day. Can't fight it, can't stop, and if they get caught, it's gonna be hell to pay. So baby, meet me down by the Roanoke River, where the cool dark water meets the full moonlight. If we can sneak away, maybe we could be together. Can't nobody stop love tonight. Didn't know they'd been followed down through the hollow till a hand grabbed her by the arm. Blood's thicker than water, but even his father ain't never gonna do her no harm. And whiskey on his breath, they were scared to death, and he was meaner than the devil himself. It was him or them, and you can call it a sin, but the Roanoke River won't tell. So baby, meet me down by the Roanoke River, where the cool dark water meets the full moonlight. If we can sneak away, maybe we could be together. Can't nobody stop love tonight. Stop this love. Can't nobody 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 stop